As you can see, we are playing around today with our Bugeye Sprite. This was a magazine project car. We also did some videos on it, and we've done a complete restoration on this car, and we're just doing some final sorting and test driving, and we want to tell you a little bit more about it. So why a Bugeye Sprite? First, everybody seems to love them. They've the old expression, a face only a mother could love. Well, this has got a face every mother loves. So, we just thought it was a good, popular, fun car. They handle like they're on rails. They're relatively inexpensive to buy, inexpensive to restore, although this has got a paint job that could win probably any Concours, which is a little much for the level of car it is, but that's okay. We wanted it to be right, and we wanted it to be beautiful. This is not at all a stock Bugeye Sprite. This has got a 1275. It's also supercharged. The engine has been built up a little bit over stock. We kept the compression pretty low because of the supercharger, but this has probably 3 times the horsepower of a stock Sprite. It's got disc brakes, it's got dual master cylinder, it's got handling improvements, it's got a Datsun 5-speed transmission. It's got basically every trick you can throw at a Sprite. Turning a race car back into a street car always presents some challenges. First, while they're generally not rusty, and this one didn't really have rust issues per se, they are ridden hard and put away wet. The underside of this thing has so beat up from off-road excursions that we ended up putting floor pans in it anyway, just because all the holes had been drilled in it and the floors were all bent up. A Sprite restoration is fairly simple. We had some challenges with the rear body panel, what would be a trunk panel on a traditional car. There is no trunk in a Sprite other than a compartment behind the seats. That part is not available. Moss Motors, who helped us a lot with this car, has just about every part for a Sprite, but that's one of the few they don't have. So we had to repair it, which was time consuming and thus expensive. But other than that, the restoration was pretty straightforward. I'm thrilled with the way it came out. A Sprite is about the simplest, most visceral sports car you can have. And generally, if you make a lot of modifications to a car, it can do you as much harm as it does you good. This has not been the case on this one. The ride is taut. It's not horrible. Anytime you got a small, simple car, you're likely to ruin the ride if you start modifying it. Not the case on this one. We used a lot of insulation. We put a carpet kit in it when it originally had mats. So we've done a lot to kind of make the car more solid. And it's really quite comfortable, quiet. It doesn't get a lot of heat. It doesn't run hot. The steering is lightning quick. The handling is like it's a go-kart on rails. Sprites are generally underpowered. This one is not. By putting the larger engine in it and then modifying that engine with header and a better cam and some head work, and then adding the Moss supercharger kit, it's relatively quick. Now, by today's standards, a car can do 0 to 60, a performance car anyway, can do 0 to 60 in 4 or 5 seconds easily. This one's not quite that fast, but in a little open car like this, something that goes 6-7 seconds 0 to 60 is almost frightening. If you're looking for a small sports car or even a British sports car, there's a lot to like about the Sprite. These are great first classics for pretty much anybody. They're simple to restore, they're simple to keep running. Parts are dirt cheap for the most part. I mean, stuff like master cylinders and that kind of stuff like $67. There's nothing really expensive on a Sprite. And the used parts they make hundreds of thousands of these things, and the parts availability, especially the hop-up parts, are still readily available from places like the Winner's Circle and Moss Motors. So they're easy cars. There's tons of knowledge. It's just a great first project for somebody. One thing about this car, and this one's painted its original color, which is iris blue, which is quite bright. it draws attention. Everybody loves it. Everybody waves at you. If you go to the gas station, which you don't have to do very often because the darn things get probably 30 miles to the gallon, you get a lot of attention. You'll have to talk to people, but it's very positive. There's no jealousy or anger over this car, as there, you know, some upper scale cars can get bad reactions. Nobody ever gets a bad reaction in a Sprite. Every aspect of the restoration on this car, from the very first day we found it, to stripping it down, to media blasting, to building the engine, to fitting the suspension, the supercharger, everything is on our website, classicmotorsports.com. Every single inch of the project is right there for everybody to see. If you like this sort of stuff, please check the website. And thanks for coming by the Classic Motorsports collection. I hope you enjoyed it.
If you like this video and want to see more, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video. And to see more stories like this, visit us online at classicmotorsports.com.